Well, India has done it, and they have done it comprehensively, picking up 2 points in the first Super 8 encounter against Afghanistan. India won the toss and chose to bat first, got to 181, and have managed to wrap up Afghanistan 47 runs short of the target. Big win. When you think of T20 cricket, it's almost like an innings defeat, if you do compare it. 47 is a big margin, but that's just the kind of bowling effort that India had today. Just A+ across the board for all the bowlers. Jasprit Bumrah bowled his 4 overs, 3 wickets for 7 runs. You may think it's impressive. I just think, it's a Thursday, right? It just, it's just Bumrah doing Bumrah things. Tell us something new. Geez, he is operating on another planet right now. I think if he drew a blood sample, it might just be blue or something. He's an alien, Gilly.
Something not right there, is there?
Yeah.
not very similar to the rest of us. But look, he was outstanding. They bowled as a unit. I thought the strategy of Rohit Sharma was excellent. I think we speculated on who may open the bowling. We thought maybe pace off, given the conditions. But Rohit had other. Well, the whole strategic group of that Indian team came up with that ploy, and he almost felt like he killed the game off in the second over of the innings, in his first over, by getting Gurbaz with that wide one. It's a comment we were saying last night, talking about South Africa. Often they've been a team that over the years don't seem to have been able to just change on the run, change their strategy quickly. They have strong strategies, but they stick to them. Whereas that from Rohit, that keeps it unpredictable for the opposition too now. When does Bumrah bowl his overs? We've been saying, no, it's right at the back end of the power play. No, not this time. He came in and bang, made a big impact.
Yeah, actually, one guy who obviously has spent a lot of time with Rohit Sharma, the captain, is Zaheer Khan, who's here with us as well. Zach, tell me how much of it, with Rohit as a captain, in terms of his bowling strategy, how much of it does he pre-plan? How much of it does he go on the fly, on the ground?
Well, there is a lot of planning for sure. He loves discussing various tactics. He loves looking into data. He loves looking at what the history also have been on the pitches, against the opposition, all of those. But once the game starts, I think the nice part about him is that he's trying to always keep up with the game, or maybe stay one step ahead of the game. So whatever planning and all that you do is just for planning and preparation, for you to know that this is what everything is all about. But you have to go with the game, and I think that's the nice part about him, that he understands the pulse of the game, and then he makes certain decisions. So if Bumrah had not taken wicket in that first over, he might not have given him the second over. But that call he will take instinctively as the game is unfolding. So a lot of planning, but also a lot of instincts and seeing who is having a good day, who's not having a good day, tactically how you need to stack up, and how if you sometimes say that, okay, you looking for that early wicket or any partnership building, or you trying to save Bumrah's over for a particular batsman who is going to come at the back end. But if the wickets fall early or something, you got to be be able to shift it. And that is something which is very important, and he never hesitates in doing that.
Actually, it's a great point that Gilly makes, that he shut the game, Bumrah, in the second, because getting Gurbaz's wicket was so important. He was looking really good today, that first over of Arshdeep. Geez, he creamed a few solid ones in that first over.
Yeah, I mean, his versatility, Bumrah, as we keep saying so often, he can do everything at any time of the game. But his decision-making in that first over to go pace off, and then he ends up, varying throughout his spell, 20 dot balls in 24 balls bowled. But I've a question for you, Zach, if you don't mind. For him to take pace off the very first over that he bowls, we talk about the need to do that, but how tempting is it with a brand new ball, opening the bowling, whether it's first over or second over? The ball doesn't stay brand new for long in white ball format. So how tempting is it to still go, no, I know I should take, but I'm going to go up. I'm going to try and swing it here and bring it back, or put a bit of pace on it. It must be a very disciplined mind to be prepared do the big slow ball, second ball you bowl.
And also that that skill set needs to be practiced enough. So if you're bowling it with a new ball, it's not an easy thing to achieve, isn't it? Because the ball skids on. And that's why if you see the line which he bowled to Gurbaz was way outside.
Yeah, he took him out.
So that is something which maybe he was thinking that Gurbaz is going to be predominantly onside batter. He will look to take that, and he planned it that way. The thing about Bumrah is that he likes to bowl a lot in the nets for him to feel comfortable. So his strength lies in his work ethics as well. Yeah. He's also a big data guy. Like, he will play the game in his head a night before in terms of knowing his options, knowing which batters, which areas, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole lot as a process which he goes, and then having that control to be able to execute that. So it's all a package which he puts it together very nicely.
Yeah.
And that's the reason he's so consistent.
Yeah.
Is he one of the most, if not the most, adaptable, malleable bowler when it comes to conditions and taking advantage of conditions? Because I was reading a very interesting tweet where they said you take him tomorrow to England, give him a Duke's ball, and he's going to pitch it up and try to get swing. You send him to Australia, he'll pull the length back day after tomorrow and come back to West Indies. So maybe that's adding on to your point, which is he attempted to bowl that way, but he knows the conditions, he knows the pitch, and he'll adapt to it immediately.
So he's also a little bit stubborn as well.
He is he?
Yeah.
Right.
Because he's thinking
like
about
all
the
geniuses.
Game. And there is nothing wrong in that. Because you're just so assured that you know exactly what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and you've thought through it. So it's. I always tease him, with bowling more bouncers. Yeah. Sometimes me and Yuvraj, when we were in that season of IPL, we would purposely do that. No, Bumrah is not going to bowl bouncers, and then you will say, yeah, I don't think he's going to bowl.
Oh, reverse psychology.
Just to get him going on that no, I can bowl bounces. Yeah. But the point is that he's so thorough with his planning, preparation, understanding of his own bowling, and then planning his bowling or options planning with regard to the batters which he'll be playing, with regard to the conditions he'll be bowling under. So all those things at times with that assurance makes you a little stubborn, which is not a bad thing.
His underuse of the bouncer is something that would annoy you so much as a batter.
Yeah.
When you know a guy's got that in the artillery, a quick bouncer, and it doesn't come, and the next ball it doesn't come, and you're still hanging back, and it just doesn't turn up, and then either it comes and it surprises you, or it never, and you just sort of don't quite get to a front foot stroke. But it plays mind games. I think he and Pat Cummins, I think, are the two most versatile fast bowlers in all different conditions. But I think Bumrah's there and Pat's there, and then there's a group below. But I think he's the most versatile.
I love what Zach and UV were doing with Jasprit Bumrah. It's like what I do with my 8-year-old nephew. It's like you don't know the lyrics of that Imagine Dragons song. You don't know it, and then he'll just sing it. So it's good. Well, they are seniors. Yeah, that's what you do when you're a senior, and that's what you have to do when you're a junior. It's a rites of passage, isn't it? Well, today the Indian bowling. Yes, of course we're talking about Jasprit Bumrah, but there's a lot of bowlers that we need to talk about, and the one I definitely want to talk about is. And we spoke about this in the Combox, Zach and me and Gilly, I'll bring that to you. For a finger spinner to bowl the fourth over in the power play as a wicket maiden, that does not happen every day, does it?
That was crazy, yeah.
Akshar Patel, brilliant.
Yeah, Patel, Akshar. I think the comment was made in commentary from the game. Ravindra Jadeja has done so much for India, over a long, body of work.
Yeah.
Often being a similar left-arm orthodox, Akshar doesn't get recognised, doesn't get the acknowledgements that perhaps he's now moving up into that sort of realm of consistency and skill and, to bowl that. Well, I said maybe Bumrah killed the game off by getting that first wicket, but bowling a wicket maiden in the fourth of a power play certainly goes a long way to shutting it down. Subtle changes. There's not a lot of carry on. It's just workmanlike. Sort of, blue collar worker, as we say at home. Gets in there, pulls the sleeves up, gets in and does his, and then walks off, grabs his hat, and gets ready for whatever's next. So I like that, and he can close out an innings with the bat. He can contribute at various times there. So a fine all-round cricketer who probably doesn't quite, or maybe now he's going to start getting the dues that he deserves.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Actually, all the India bowlers were brilliant today. I mean, Arshdeep did give away some runs, but picked up 3 wickets today. I'll get you in to talk about Arshdeep.
Well, all the bowlers, they were having a terrific day out there. It's just about getting those early wickets and then just continuing with that, even getting the wicket on the last ball. So that's how the day has been. Arshdeep is going to play a crucial role going forward as well, because if India is going to go in with this kind of a combination where they want to fit in 3 spinners, then his role becomes even more crucial. And it was interesting to see how Rohit used all the bowlers, isn't it? Holding Hardik back, using Bumrah up front. And Arshdeep is going to be that sort of a bowler who will be looking to bowl 2 overs up at the top, 2 overs in the back end. So because of that, it's important that he continues with the confidence which he has shown right throughout the tournament.
He's getting the wickets. He's India's highest wicket taker now. He's got 10 wickets in the 4 games. Remember that game against Canada didn't happen, of course. But the other thing we saw with Afghanistan, as I see my Cricbuzz app, they just never got a partnership in.
No.
Right? They just never did. And you're chasing this kind of a score. It was just a march past, wasn't it? They kept coming back. I mean, you see the highest partnership that I can see is a 31-run partnership. That was for the 6th wicket. But, there was a 4th wicket partnership as well. That was 40 runs. We spoke about that time. It was Gulbuddin and Omar Zai who kept it together at that point. I think that was the only time where they had a little bit of stability. But once that partnership was broken, they weren't in the chase after that.
Yeah, for that very reason of losing wickets too consistently, they never threatened the total. So even if they built a partnership of 40, it was still not really at a strike rate that was starting to edge into the net run rate required. Really, it was just such a disciplined display in the field with ball in hand that they were never in the game, Afghanistan. So they'll look back now. They'll be licking their wounds from 2. That's back-to-back. Big losses now, having won 3 in a row and would have securing that spot into the Super 8, being chock full of confidence. It can flip around very quickly in this format. And they've now got a lot of soul searching to do to work out what their right balance is, what their batting order is. They decided to break up that sort of reasonably successful opening partnership, those 2 at the top. So they split them and bringing the new man in. To open. So, they got a lot to think about. They just never really looked in the race tonight.
Yeah, when you look at that scorecard, something very interesting. This is only the second time it's happened in T20 World Cup history. All 10 dismissals have catches involved.
Oh, right.
Oh.
All 10.
Yeah.
There you go. Fielders were busy today.
Yeah.
Fielders were busy, hands were kept warm. But that also tells you something about this Afghanistan innings, that they didn't give up. They were all trying to accelerate. They all were trying to hit and get to the target. So in a way, you got to praise the attitude. Yes, it didn't come out today, but you got to praise the attitude. They were going for it.
I mean, when you're chasing 181 and you know that the pitch is on the slow side, you want to make use of that power play, isn't it? Till the time ball is hard. Field restrictions, you just want to get at least 50 or if you get 60, nothing like it, without losing too many wickets. They've actually couldn't catch the game there from both sides. Losing 3 wickets and scoring 35 runs. So you're behind with the runs and you've lost too many wickets. So that is something which is never going to help you set the tone for that run chase. And it was one of those kind of days, just a disciplined bowling performance from India. I think the batting part was need to be commended even more. And that is something which was so crucial on this pitch, because winning the toss, batting first, you want to set the total. It looked that it could have been a tricky kind of a situation had it continued that way, where the batters are not able to get going. And that's why the Rishabh Pant's intent, setting that tone, Surya's contribution, Hardik's contribution, I think with the bat was something which can go unnoticed in this kind of a game when you have so many positives to look at. His form is also going to be crucial. But I think Afghanistan was never looked like they're going to have a chance at chasing this total if they don't get a good start. And that's what we've seen in the first over. We thought, okay, maybe.
Hey, that was it.
Yeah, Jazai and
it was Gurbaz, basically. Faced all 6 balls, got 13 runs, and you were like, oh, hang on. We could have a game here.
It was just that moment where you thought that, okay, what if these two get to 50 in the power play? But that's where the masterstroke of Rohit bringing in Bumrah right away, then and there. And then Aksar bowling that made no.
It's a good point about Hardik Pandya's game. That's very easy to gloss over that. He's still, coming back through the IPL and then the first few games where it was interesting conditions. So that's a really nice hit out for him today, bat and ball. But again, you just mentioned it, another, whether it's a masterstroke, but great piece of strategy by Rohit to win the toss and bat. He read those conditions perfectly. And we saw by the end of the game, the ball was really gripping in. So you wouldn't want to be facing, those 3 Afghanistan spinners late on that pitch. So he got that right.
Yeah. It really was a great bowling performance for India to win that game by 47 runs. Now, remember, the net run rate is important as well in the Super 8s because you're playing everybody else in the group. So for India in the group, going to play Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and then, of course, the big encounter, India-Australia. So those are the 3 teams. India plays each of them. Everybody plays each other once, and you get the 2 points for the win. And net run rate may just come into play, and India has given a booster shot. Well, actually, they've given it a propane shot today. It's like turbo fuel today. It was gone plus 2.3 is what it's gone in for Afghanistan. Well, that's not good for them. And of course, India plays Bangladesh next, which is day after tomorrow. And then India plays Australia, which is on 24th being the Monday.
Yeah, and interestingly, we discussed pre-game, didn't we, what India's strategy will be with the fact they've got play, travel, play. Yeah. They are flying, well, they might be heading to the airport now, but they are flying today.
Oh. Did you get the flight manifest? How did you find out so quick? I got people. People. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I need to find out how he found out. I need to check. I need to check the veracity of this information. But yeah, they would because it's afternoon right now.
Yeah.
And if you're playing a game day after morning, remember that game is in the morning. All these games that India is playing are in the morning so that Indian viewers can watch it at the comfort of 8 p.m. These boys are waking up at the crack of dawn, aren't they? So, yeah, that's the game against Bangladesh. That's in 2 days' time. But today, of course, India will take away 2 points and of course, big ups in terms of net run rate from this. Just before we round it off, for Afghanistan, the positives for Afghanistan to come out of this game, of course, one being the captain and his bowling.
Yeah, and Fazalak Farooqi. These are the 2 big positives. He's continuing with his form. He's still the leading wicket taker of this tournament. So that's a big positive, big plus, because Rashid is someone who we always look up to, isn't it, when we are talking about Afghanistan. And spin bowling is something we always discuss. But first time now, a fast bowler is actually making that mark. So that's a great positive.
Yeah.
The batting still needs a lot of work. So it's eventually going to be the bowlers. Maybe bat first is something which is going to be way forward for them, put runs on board, and then look to squeeze the position with the spin trio. Yeah,
we had spoken about the fact how Gurbaz was the one that they really, you get Gurbaz and then suddenly you feel like you're in no matter what the target Afghanistan has to chase. And you could tell today when he got out to Bumrah, and it was one of those. I mean, it was a good line from Bumrah, but it wasn't one of his best dismissals, right? Yeah. You could tell that Gurbaz was charging him. That's the kind of confidence he had. And you could tell he was crestfallen. I think he's still got his pads on.
He sat in that dugout, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just the same look like for 20 overs.
Yeah.
No, well, we comment on the importance of his wicket. I think he knows it too. And that's heavy weight to carry on shoulders, isn't it? Knowing you are carrying your entire batting lineup pretty much. And he does it. He's done it well. He's achieved great, fantastic results.
Yeah.
But there will be a time when it's not going to work, and that's just that the weight's a bit too heavy.
Okay, let's talk about the game that's happening tomorrow. This is, in the words of Jim Carrey, a spicy meatball. Love it. England and South Africa. That game is happening at St. Lucia. It's very interesting. England. What was another an hour of rain and they would have been back on the flight home.
Yeah.
And now they're suddenly favourites. It is absolutely bizarre how much. And I kept thinking, I said, it would just be laughably ironic if England was knocked out of the World Cup because of rain. It's the thing that troubles them all year. Yeah. They love talking about it. They're miserable because of it. And they would have been miserable as well. But no, it didn't happen. Eventually they qualified. But that scare was, there was that scare for a bit, wasn't there? That they may not qualify.
Definitely. Nonetheless, when Australia were chasing that total against Scotland, they would have thought two things. Either they're just genuinely going to get beaten or they're going to purposely get beaten. But none of that came into it. It was Australia got there. But no, England, that statement they made in their opening fixture this morning was strong. Salt looks unstoppable. If he can get through a power play, he looks like he's just intent on closing a match out, particularly chasing. Butler was the support act in that regard. And Johnny Bairstow, we see often with his career, it just goes in peaks and troughs. But when he's on, he's a little maestro at work out there, and he was outstanding. So, I think they suddenly are one of the favourites to get through. I suppose the winner of that game tomorrow night, it pretty much guarantees getting into a semi-final.
Yeah, fair point.
Really.
Yeah. Fair point, because they both won a game each.
Yeah, there we go. So someone goes to 4 points. I think I see that as a pretty much a guaranteed, particularly if England win with that positive net run rate. If they have a win, go to 4 points and increase that net run rate up a bit, well, it's hard to see them not getting through to the semi.
So are you saying, let's build this game up, are you saying that tomorrow is a bit of a quarterfinal then? With the loser not getting eliminated?
That's the only thing that doesn't make it a quarterfinal. But it's a good point. There's a lot riding on it.
So it's a half quarterfinal.
All right.
So it's a 1/8.
A 1/8. Is that what it is?
Super 8s are half quarterfinals.
Oh, there you go. So it's the 8th playing the 1/8, which is 8 and 8 cancel. Now I'm giving you a calculus class. You don't even know. You don't know because I don't know what I'm talking about, but then I never do.
But England will actually enjoy this venue because this has been the highest run scoring venue of the tournament.
Yeah.
And it's going to suit their style of play.
Fair enough.
They want to go hard at the top, fill salt. Or you look at that batting order, it's all about power. It's all about catching the game with the bat. And that is something which is going to maybe work in their favour. South Africa, even though they have a decent bowling lineup, they've still not been able to have that perfect game which we've been talking about.
Fair. Oh, they've been. We have to say that there's a saying I have on the Hindi show, which is "Latak latak ke metric pass." I don't know how to translate that for Adam Gilchirst, but it basically means that I kind of barely just cleared grade 10 after many attempts, in a way, like barely sort of scraped through. But that's what's happened to South Africa, right? I mean, that one run with Nepal yesterday, there was times when you thought that, hang on, USA can get this chase done. So I think for South Africa, maybe that's the only thing. Besides that Sri Lanka victory where they were not in any trouble, everything else, they have kind of looked a little bit in trouble, and that team's better than those performances.
It is. You look down the list of players, right on cue, there it is. There's big names. When they have their starting 11, that in the yellow is what they started with in their last game. Interesting if they stay with Shamsi. There was a bit of turn. I think they will maintain him. But there's big name players there. They're marquee players at various franchises in the IPL that have all been sold for big prices. So they know how to have impact in games of cricket. They just haven't had the cohesive team effort yet. They've scrapped and fought and dug their nails in and somehow hung on. But, that's tournament play. They're one win away from being in a World Cup semi-final pretty much. So,
so it doesn't matter how you get the points, right? Whether you win by one run, it's a win.
Just get there.
Just get there. And the thing is, Zach, you make a good point that, of course, England it's the same surface. So England enjoys batting there. South Africa won't mind it as well because, I mean, they got runs from Quinny in the last game, Quinton de Kock after, a while, so they've got runs from him. Everybody else, you've got, Klaasen, Miller, Stubbs have been carrying form, Klaasen for the last 2 years, the others with some form as well. So their batting lineup won't mind these conditions as well.
They'll not mind, but they've not had the kind of tournament with the bat as they would have liked.
Fair, yeah.
So on a good pitch, you are expecting, okay, England will be breathing easily. They'll be feeling, okay, confident. This is our kind of a surface. Now, you look at the surface which they played today, India and Afghanistan game. If England is playing on this surface, they will lose too many wickets. So that is something which, just because you want to impose on the bowling, just because you want to go through with the shots, and you kind of have a template where you're saying T20 is played in this fashion, and you got to be attacking, aggressive, and take risk and play your shots. But these conditions where the ball is not coming onto the bat, you have to choose the right options.
Yeah.
You have to adapt. I think on slowish conditions, slow, sluggish pitches, they might struggle to cope with. South Africa, they've been struggling.
Yeah.
So that's something doesn't give you that much of confidence. But on a good pitch, I think England will have an upper hand because it'll suit their style of play.
Yeah, there's only one thing that I'd like to add to that. Actually, England might do really well in today's pitch because it's Barbados. Because for half their team, that's a home ground. It is.
Yeah, sure.
Phil Saul went to school there.
Yeah.
Johnny Bairstow's father played a test.
Yeah.
Then there was Jofra Archer, Jordan.
Corin Pollard's on their coaching staff.
There you go.
From Trinidad, but he's West Indian. So,
There you go. But Barbados itself. But it's a great point. And with St. Lucia. England playing this game 36 hours after they've played. I mean, think about it. That's a quick turnaround as well.
But they'll feel like that's their happy hunting ground now. As you say.
And they'll want to play quick. They'll be like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Start the next game immediately.
Have a day off, sitting on the beach, just enjoying it. Some good beaches there in St. Lucia too. I can vouch for that. But that was a very good chase. That looks like, well, they were in control all the way through. The pitch was a little bit potentially naggy, not as slow and maybe grippy as what we saw in tonight's game in Barbados. But no, they just dropped the hammer there, and now all of a sudden they're really confident and happy unit. And I tell you what, look out, Adil Rashid, he was, I reckon, the game changer in that game. So he played a huge part, the way he just took the life out of the West Indian batting innings through those middle, even towards the latter stages. He was excellent. So he's the player to watch for me.
Yeah, and then there was that one over where Phil Salt just launched into Romario Shepherd. 30 runs of that over, just pretty much just killed the game after that. There was a lot of Delhi Capitals fans who were looking at Romario Shepherd be hit and go, hang on, that's revenge for you hitting Andrek Nokia. That was way back, of course, in the IPL. So let's have a look at the England team as well. Doubt if they'll make any changes at all. Like, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And if it's going so smooth, don't mess with it at all. So they'll probably just go with that. All the all-rounders. They're not yellow, but all of them were in the 11, that center column. Yeah. Oh, it's yellow. We don't see it yet. Is it?
Yeah,
of course, it's
on one of the screens.
Yellow.
Yeah, one of the screens I don't see a yellow.
Yeah, tinge of yellow there in the middle. But Livingston, it was interesting. Joss Buttler bowled Liam Livingston at a time in that
20 run over. Yeah.
And it got hit for 3 sixes. And it could have been the 4th 6, but he got the wicket.
Yeah.
And so spent a few dollars to buy the wicket, but all round England put on a fine display. Yeah,
well, as it goes, a lot of power in the batting there. Really looking forward to the game because both top teams. One, of course, on a more dominating streak, you would say. But don't count out South Africa because the thing that's going for them this World Cup is the small bits of play, Gilly, that would go against them in other World Cups that have prevented them from getting to the final. They're going for them this time. Just maybe.
Yep.
Can you believe, as a South African fan? Can you?
Definitely.
Can you?
Still in it.
Yeah? Should you? Can you? Will you jinx it? No. Well, we'll find out tomorrow. We're gonna meet you at 7:30 for that game tomorrow. So do join us then. Meanwhile, we've got a little bit of business. The joy factor question and its answer. Let's have a look. Bring it here. In the final of an ODI tournament, could be anything actually. An Indian bowler picked 6 wickets, while the other 3 dismissals were all run-outs. Identify the lone wicket taker. You said a spinner, Zach. That was your
I
guess.
actually was thinking, but it can be Stuart Binney or Sunil Joshi, one of the two.
Oh, yeah, I'm being told that you played in that game.
I played in that game.
Yeah.
He couldn't remember
Who
playing
took
in a
6
World
wickets?
Cup in 2010. How's he going to remember that?
Jeez. Yeah, Zach's memory is a little spotty. Well, we're talking about our dear friend, Ashish Nara. There you go. It was the Indian Oil Cup.
Right. That tournament.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was the World Cup, then I would have remembered.
Yeah. That's
There you go. It was the Indian Oil Cup. It was slippery. Trying to pick it up and it kept dropping.
In Sri Lanka.
It's in Sri Lanka, so there you go.
And I can't believe you thought that your fellow opening bowler's a spinner.
Oh,
He
wait,
pulled a lot of wickets on the...
Yeah, yes, I know. Not me.
wait till we send him this clip. He's going to call
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to call us. Don't you boys know I'm an all-rounder? Who won it? Who got the first correct answer in? Let's have a look. Bring it up on the screen. Let's see. It's Ajitesh Oja. Ajitesh Oja, congratulations. I love that picture, Joyous. A lot of attitude there. That's pretty cool. The guessing game, no one got it right in the second. No power play scores.
Even in the joy factor, the guessing game was bad.
Yes, that's right. We couldn't guess anything.
Haven't got anything today.
I think Stuart Binney also got in 6 wickets in
did.
Bangladesh.
Yeah, there was a 6 for 14, if I remember correct.
Yeah.
6 for 4. I'm sorry.
There were no run-outs.
Yeah.
No, run out. Someone else got wickets. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I didn't see that. Sorry, I was marveling at
Yeah.
6 for 4.
Yeah, we
but
need to put that screen back up.
Let's bring it up.
Because I'm off the mark. You beauty.
Oh, there you go, Gilly. You're 25%. Look at me. I'm at the end of it. Right at the bottom. This is new for me. But I'm enjoying it.
I'm dropping down very fast. I'm not liking it.
Yeah, well, if I drop down any further, I'll just be relegated. I'll be relegated. I'll be playing the second division. So, yeah, there you go. Right at the top, Michael won 50%. Adam Gilchirst opened his account today. 25. I've got 25%. Didn't you play yesterday? Yeah, 1 out of 4. 25%. Okay.
Yep.
That's good. And anybody else? No. That's... to be honest, I feel that the sample size is too small. I don't think we should have played the guessing game in the World Cup.
Oh, right.
It's good for the IPL. Don't you think? Oh,
Right.
Guess what I had for dessert? Sour grapes. They were good. I'm just carrying a lot of trauma from that IPL final when I lost the guessing game for the IPL by 1 guess to Manoj Tiwari. I'm still demanding a recount of that, but that's not happening. It's time for us to go. We are going to see you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. right here on Cricbuzz Live. Got to thank Adam Gilchirst and Zaheer Khan. Thank you very much, gents.
Thank you.
Thank ya. I'm Gaurav Kapur, and I am saying good night. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.